The Liberal campaign has been calling the cops on Canadian journalists, but did you know in 2017 Trudeau was more than willing to sit down for a long-form interview with communist state-run China Central Television? Yeah, they even fed Trudeau the questions in advance, and I have the documents to prove it. Now, all this week, I've been meticulously going through 800 pages of Justin Trudeau's cancelled 2017 trip to Davos, Switzerland to the World Economic Forum. The trip was cancelled because at the time, the ethics report into Trudeau's illegal trip to the Aga Khan's Island had just come out, and so Trudeau thought it would be best for him to stay at home and try to rehab his broken reputation in a series of cross-country town hall tours. Now, we filed for the planning documents for this cancelled trip using Access to Information, and we were given back, like I said, a whopping 800 pages. The previous two stories I've done on this subject first focused on Justin Trudeau's desire to throw himself a star-studded party at our expense in Davos with The Weeknd and Drake. And the second story features the elites and meddlers Trudeau wanted to meet with, like Facebook, far left-wing agitators at Avaaz, and Islamic Relief UK. Now, today I want to talk about how Justin Trudeau planned to treat the media at Davos if he were to go. From what I can garner in these nearly 800 pages of emails, briefing notes, and communications, the only media outlet that was guaranteed a long-form sit-down style interview with Justin Trudeau while he was scheduled to be in Davos, Switzerland, came from that country Trudeau so deeply admires. Remember this?
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime.
Oh, but friends, don't take my word for it. Let me show you the proof in these planning notes for Trudeau's cancelled trip to Davos. Let's go straight to page 364. It reads, China's CCTV, that's Communist State-Run Central China TV, the business channel, would like to interview the Prime Minister during Davos. Should you be interested, please contact CCTV directly at, and then they've redacted the contact information. And we can see in this email that Communist China's CCTV, their state-run TV channel, well, they know the drill when dealing with the likes of Trudeau. They're used to politicians like Trudeau who control the media outlets they like a marionette, and then have the distant ones followed by the cops. Because China's CCTV provided a list of 8 questions in advance to Justin Trudeau to help him prepare for this hard-hitting interview. And some of these questions, well, they're right up there with, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite virtue? I suppose they're the sort of questions you would expect from a Chinese state-run business channel. Here's number 7. You have entered your second year in power. Looking back at your first year as Canadian Prime Minister, what was the toughest decision you've made? And what made you feel fulfilled most? Ugh, barf. Number 8, in your opinion, what is the most defining moment of 2016 and how do you see the year ahead? Or this softball, you also made the comment that Canada is now an intellectual powerhouse rather than a resource-based economy. How is Canada to strengthen the intellectual powerhouse image at the world stage? I don't know. My advice would be to avoid doing blackface or putting a prosthetic dong in your pants and dancing around like a buffoon on camera, and just generally avoiding India altogether and speaking in general. Oh, hindsight. However, before we start to feel too uppity about this staged interview as a nation, that these Chinese state journalists are such hacks and suck-ups feeding Trudeau questions, is this really any different than, I don't know, what Trudeau expects from Huffington Post journalist and official debate moderator, Althea Raj? When you think about it, here she is meeting with Justin Trudeau's former chief advisor and campaign strategist Gerald Butts just a few short days ago, just before the debate. Isn't it interesting, too, that the Liberals were willing to have their leader have a sit-down with a communist state-run Chinese TV channel, but they won't accredit TNC's Andrew Lawton or any of my colleagues here at Rebel News to cover them on the campaign trail? That's not how it works here in Canada. Journalists do journalism, and they don't ask permission to do it. And all parties need to understand this. But actually, it gets even worse than just not being so-called accredited. I wish it were just that simple. Andrew Lawton was removed by security from a campaign rally for the Liberals and then detained by police on the side of the road because he was following the Liberal bus to the next event where he could do his job. Now, I want to show you this interaction between my friend and colleague Cian Bexte with the RCMP just outside of Justin Trudeau's debate performance in Montreal. Here.
Okay, show me your idea of journalist. You said you're a journalist, that it's just or...
No, it's not just and I have no obligation to show you anything.
And you're recording me?
Yes, I am. Because
Why?
You have a history of treating journalists who work for my organization poorly. Journalists everywhere, actually, quite
you know
poorly.
What's my job? I'm here for the protection of the Prime Minister.
Cool.
Okay? So it's my job to check if there's anything suspicious around, and if you're not, if you cannot show an ID or tell me why your real reason why you're here, then you will have to go further than this perimeter.
I've been standing here for about 10 minutes, uploading documents for work, uploading videos of the coverage that we've done here.
No problem?
Is there a problem?
No, but I need to know what's in your bag.
You have no right to know that.
Yeah.
No, you don't. This is Canada.
Yeah, sorry, coppers. My journalism license is the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. That's all I need. And here's my colleague David Menzies outside of Justin Trudeau's ridiculous boxing photo op earlier in the very same day, and he's getting jostled to the ground. Here.
Mr. Trudeau, what do you have to say to these protesters? Why did you call the police on these protesters, Mr. Trudeau?
So what's my point here? My point is that Justin Trudeau is so thin-skinned and so unaccountable as a prime minister, and so pathetically unaccustomed to real journalistic accountability that he will stomp on the constitutional rights of Canadian journalists who are skeptical of him in the slightest and abuse our noble police force to help him do it. And Trudeau, instead, he'll suck up to communist mouthpieces as long as they stroke his big fat ego and pad his image. Trudeau's a vain, petty man, unfit for the office he holds. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. At Rebel News, we file dozens of access to information requests every single month, and then we have to go through them, each with a fine-tooth comb. This can cost us sometimes thousands of dollars every single month, but we think it's worth it because we are asking questions that the mainstream media isn't, and we're getting answers for the public that the Liberals aren't willing to give them. If you can help cover the cost for me to file these access to information requests, you can do that at donations.rebelnews.com.